All right. Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Um, Wherever you're joining from, we are saying hello from, of course, Niger Data Platform. This is Data Fluence 2023. And once again, we thank you for joining. We appreciate you, your consistency. Thank you for being here. Today, what are we looking at? We are looking at Power BI, and that's what we are looking at. If you have been following the series, we have, touched a lot of things, but today it is to see the power of, visualization of all that we have done so far. Now, today with me in the studio, I have these powerful people, powerful personality. There is Mr. Rashid Ogunera, there is Mr. Chuk Sosai, and of course, we have our regional lead in the person of Mr. Oluwaseyi Oluwawumichu. Now, um, we want to appreciate our partners. Thank you for always supporting us Microsoft, Covenant Technology, NEMA REM, Jerry Computers, Enterprise DNA, Resolutic. We appreciate it. We are not taking this for granted. All right. Now, I have in the studio right about now Mr. Oluwawumiju Oluwaseyi, and he's going to just talk to us. Mr. Sheyi, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. If you can
Great,
hear me
great.
too.
So, um, you have the floor now, Mr. Oluwaseyi. So, your screen is on. We can see your slide, and so you can
Okay.
take it away, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, and appreciate the introduction by Olajide, and I welcome you all to Data Fluence 2023. It has been a journey for several weeks, which this program and this event has started, where we constantly have new innovation, new learning skill, new understanding of what is happening in technology and how to tap into it. Now, today we're looking at a way by which we can look at the combination of Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. Now, the question is, we all, like, if I do a pool now, we have 100 people down, 50, 60, or 20 people online now. When we ask about Power BI, 100% will respond that they use it. Because when it comes to data, when it comes to reporting, when you talk interactive information and proper dashboard build up, these are the uniqueness of Power BI. Now the question is Power BI going? No. Are we still going to use it? Yes. Now it brings me back to a professor that spoke some time ago in a tech ed program years back in the US. Her name is Professor Chinaka Ezebo. And she was trying to bring in how education was brought into Africa and what was the leverage the Western um, people that brought this education to us, what they leverage on to bring down the education, to make us to learn what they understand. And she was saying they brought what they are used to, what they are capable of understanding, like in terms of the animal they are used to, the fruit they are eating that is consistent with the shape, and they brought it down to Africa. And that was a disturbance for her when she was relating to her research. That has always been a way by which we find adaptation very, very precisely difficult for most African countries because they are used to searching norm, they are used to searching animal, they are used to searching fruit. So professor was saying that adaptation can be speed up when we actually look at what we know, what we see, and we use it to leverage new platforms. And that's what brought us here today. How do we move into the future? How do we leverage on this new technology, new platform called Microsoft Fabric? But Microsoft have that understanding that adaptation culturally, adaptation is easy revolutionized when we bring what people are used to and extend the process. Just like Nelson Mandela spoke some years back before he died, he said when he wants to move into the future, there are two things that is important to him: never to see himself as a loser because of a new technology, but to look at a way by which he can win by learning and relearning. So let's bring all this together now. What am I saying? I'm saying now we have a unified solution platform that interface across most Microsoft products, and that also include Power BI. So in essence, what bringing Microsoft Fabric to this platform this afternoon is to bring about understanding that Microsoft Fabric and Power BI is a capability extension for Power BI, where we extend the capability of Power BI to ensure that we have more tools to play with, more capability, more things to utilize. And that is what we are looking at, because with this, we'll be able to dive down to data science, better data science input, better data engineering, and better insight for people that are in business. So now the question, now we have several choices down about us. You can see a choice can confuse a man or a woman, whoever the person is. And you can see several color codes, several doors there. And each of these doors depict certain choice we make. Now, I can now describe it, bring it down a little bit and more descriptive. We say we can have a new house built by us, which can also be likened to Power BI desktop. We can have we buying a new house, an empty house, and moving in, which we now look at. And when we look at data, Power BI workspace, and we can have we moving to an hotel where we just pay our money, get in there, leverage on the facility, everything is there for us to utilize and to use the tool. Now, bringing all these choices and describing it one after the other, let's look at a new building. Now, you see, when you get a new land, you have to get the C of O, you have to build it, you have to do everything, all effort must be done. And that's the experience. When we started with Power BI, using Power BI desktop, we build our dashboard, we build the perimeter, we import the data, we do all this in order to build our influence and ensure that we have a better dashboard and a better reporting for our clients. And that was how Power BI was at initial time. Now, after the advancement of technology, building more robust and more standard workspace, which now brought about the Power BI workspace. And it's just like walking into an empty house where you have a platform, you need to extend the capability of the stationary one you have on your desktop, move it ahead to ensure better input, better interaction, and better insight from what you have. And that is having your Power BI as a way by which you use it on your workspace. Now, where are we here today? We are in an era where we look at it as an hotel. A five-star hotel have all the chairs, the internet, the light, everything. You don't need to make any effort. You just need to integrate, because what we are saying this afternoon and what we're going to look at this afternoon is that RBI is not going anywhere. And for example, if you have the premium license, you don't need to do anything on your workspace. Your workspace will remain intact. But the extension, the extendability of your capability with the tool you are using will be extended across your data science provision, your data engineering provision. And that is the essence of the uniqueness of a changing world: how to be ahead and to always know what to do. Let's look at what we'll be expecting from our speakers today. The first one, we must know that the first thing we're going to expect from our speaker is the uniqueness that this and the advantage we are going to have when we have Power BI extended to Microsoft Fabric. Another key thing we're going to look at that our speaker is going to run through our mind is to be able to see how the professional experience we get from having the leverage and usability, a better enhancement that we have when we extend Power BI through Microsoft Fabric. Other thing we're going to look at is the capability that we have in design. We're going to also look at the customization that can come, an enhancement to customization, the ability to integrate with almost all Microsoft products. And finally, the speaker will bring us to a point where we know inclusion is not exclusion. That means with the Microsoft Fabric, you can include anybody with disability, hearing disability, seeing disability. Everybody is included with this new extensibility. Now, with that, I close off. The truth here is that a famous quote by Alan Turing several years ago when he talked about Turing test. He said, human beings are surely intelligent. We can all tell about it. But the intelligence of an human can be extended by the machine that can produce a better response, that can distinguish those information, those dashboards, those reports, those inference that you can come from it. And each of it, the capability to ensure that each person that use this tool has the advantage business-wise, commercially, training wise, and in every form of our endeavor. So please stay tuned. The journey begins with you today. How do you leverage on Microsoft Fabric a unique interface, a platform built to ensure a robust capability, a platform that can extend your advantage from what you have on Power BI? The journey has begun with you. And as you learn, keep looking at the changes. Keep looking at the data, the data revolution, and how and all things like handle at S Oluwawumiji, and you can also find me at Oluwaseyi Oluwawumiji on LinkedIn. Keep the fire burning and keep moving with Microsoft Fabric. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shea. It is nice having you here. Thank you for being here always too. When we call, you're always available. So everyone, I hope that we have picked some learnings from there. Thank you once again. We appreciate you. Now,
Thank you
everyone,
very
over to my slide. I'm gonna just pull that here just in a moment. So I'm gonna do that right about now. We just heard from Mr. Oluwaseyi, and thank you for that wonderful session. Now I'm gonna be moving on to our next speaker, and our next speaker is Mr. Rashid. So he's gonna join us right now, right about now. So, Mr. Rashid, how are you today?
I'm cool. Are you? Thank you.
I hope that the rain is not dropping where you are.
Wow.
It's raining where I am
It's
right now,
it's
like heaven.
dripping seriously. In fact.
So, everyone, this is Mr. Rashid. Mr. Rashid Ogoniran is an experienced logistics professional with expertise on warehousing, logistics, distributions. He has, of course, now deviated into data analytics. He has an excellent analytical numeracy, organizational and problem-solving skill set. He's highly process-oriented with in-depth knowledge of database, of course, research methodologies, big data capture, manipulation of data, visualization, of course, and presentation. He's a Microsoft certified trainer, a Microsoft certified data analyst associate. Is currently exploring data engineering and Office 365. Is very big when it comes to Microsoft communities. Like, of course, on this platform is the member Nigeria Data Platform, Azure Nigeria, and Dynamics 365. Of course, in the past, he has served as volunteer in several community engagement and currently a lead Microsoft trainer for West Africa. Member of BI User Group, where he gives free training to newbies. He's also a founder of a venture that we call NEMA. So, Mr. Rashid, thank you for being here today. So,
Thank,
what are you sharing? Are you sharing your screen?
Sh-
so that we know.
Sure, I'm sharing my screen. Just
Okay,
a
so let me
minute.
slow this down. So we'll wait your screen. So audience, just relax and enjoy as we delve into Power BI in Microsoft Fabric. So Mr. Rashid, we are looking forward to have your screen shared. So while we wait for Mr. Rashid's screen, let me also quickly introduce the person that will be coming after Mr. Rashid, in the person of Mr. Chukwute Mosai. Mr. Chukwute Mosai is an experienced business intelligence analyst and a Microsoft certified trainer with a demonstrated history of working in information technology and services, of course, service industry. He's skilled in team leadership, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, Microsoft Office 365, Power Automate, Power App. Of course, is an enthusiasm of Power application. So PowerPoint, Word, Access, these are part of Office Suite. I'm sure we know that. A strategic planner is a strong researcher with, of course, use of SPSS, eView, is skilled in programming, of course, when it comes to Python and SQL. So that, I mean, you'll be coming up uh, maybe side by side with Mr. Rashid, or when Mr. Rashid is done taking us through his session. So, Mr. Rashid, okay, good. I can see your screen. I'm going to pull this down now and just add your screen here. So, Mr. Rashid, you have it. We can see your screen. Maybe you want to put
Oh,
it on projection.
okay. So thank you so much, everyone. And I want to appreciate the leadership of Niger Data Platform for this amazing opportunity. And so I welcome everyone, regardless of where you are joining from, whether home or abroad. My name is Rashid Oguniro. And so I'll be taking us through Power BI in Microsoft Fabric. So it's just for me to, I'm just going to create a background while the next speaker will now take us through the demo session. So obviously there are certain things we need to know. This is the agenda we're going to look at as I have the opportunity. And so my moderator, how many minutes do I have? Hello, Mr.
You
G.
have like 20 minutes. Just go ahead. You have 20 minutes first. I will
20
tell you
minutes.
more
Okay.
time that will be allotted to that.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
please
Thank you so
go
much.
ahead. You have like 40 minutes, but we can reduce it. But go
It's
ahead. You
fine. It's
have
fine.
30 minutes actually.
It's fine.
30
Even if you
minutes.
give me, even if you give me 10, I can walk around it. So, um, we'll be looking at Microsoft Fabric experiences. Microsoft Fabric, what can it do? The component of Microsoft Fabric. Now, the question: does Microsoft Fabric has any benefit at all? What does Microsoft Fabric brings to Power BI users? Then we equally explore the next generation of AI with Copilot in Power BI. Then and we move straight to unified data foundation with one lake and direct lake, JIT integration, and we round it up with end-to-end governance across fabrics. And so I don't need to say anything about my profile again. My Oga has already done that for me. So Microsoft Fabric, what does it really mean? So it offers these experiences that I stated below, looking at data factory, power, data integration experience, Synapse Power Data Engineering, Data Warehouse, Data Science, Real-Time Analytics, Business Intelligence, and Data Governance. Now, all these experiences that I've itemized, all of them are on Lake Century's SSAS. So, an experience called Data Activator also is currently undergoing development, which I believe will join all this activity, which will tell us the changes that will be experienced in the course of this uh, platform. And so I move straight to next slide. So what is Microsoft Fabric and what can it do? It's simply all-in-one analytics solution for enterprises that covers anything from data movement to data science, real-time analytics, and business intelligence. So that is what it does. it's before, and in time past, you have Power BI desktop. If you want to do real-time analytics, you need to go to Azure. If you want to do data warehousing, you need to go to the cloud. But this time now, all this solution has been brought together in one real-time solution. And so we need to run. What this means is that, just I'll use my person as an example. I've been running away from data engineering for long, but Microsoft Fabric has exposed me. So I'm already in the ocean of data engineering now, whether I like it or not, because it's all there. What this means is that if you have been running, if you are like me, you need to start looking at it. Because Fabric integrates technology like Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Synapse, and Power BI into a single unified product. And it's empowering data and business professionals alike to unlock the potential of their data and lay the foundation of the era of AI. Those are what are many more that Fabric can do for you. Imagine just one solution, bringing data engineering, data factory, data science, data warehouse, return analysis, and Power BI onto a shared SSA foundation. Isn't this amazing? So we just need to level up. It's obvious that Microsoft are not saying that. I remember there was a time I attended an event in Microsoft, and when we are coming, we have a one-on-one discussion with our regional lead, and he mentioned something that I picked that day. He said, in the time past, currently rather, my apologies, an organization can use 3 different solutions for the operation from different companies. Take, for instance, let's say Nima Venture, I can decide to use Google for my operations. Then for my cloud solution, I can engage Microsoft's Azure solution. And for probably my server, I can use AWS. So what that means is that a company can engage different vendors in handling the operations. But Microsoft Fabric has come to demystify this problem. It has come to negate this process. And that is what we're seeing now. Because when a platform can solve all your problems, you have one lake, you have Power BI, you have data warehouse, you have data factory, you have data engineering, you have data science, you have real-time analytics, and also data activator that will cover the area of data go. So what else are you looking for? So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is Microsoft Power Fabric is the future, and it has come to stay. And that is why we have to run with it. And so I move straight to the components. What are components that make up of Microsoft Power Fabric? There are about 6 or 7, but I want us to just ignore this one link. I just decided to put it there because it is like a repo, a central repository. When you think of OneDrive, what does OneDrive do for you? When you are thinking of OneDrive, the one lake serves the same purpose. So I start from data. What is data warehouse? All of us know data warehouse. Data warehouse is a fast-performing and fully SQL-enabled data analysis engine that stores data in one lake. And when you talk about data management system that is designed, it enables to support business intelligence, especially analytics, which is a component. Just like when you think of Power Platform, they have it has about 5 components. When you talk about Power App, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, which one is again? What's the name? And Power Pages, about 5. So Microsoft Power BI is just one of the component of Power Platform. And so in Fabric, Power BI is just a component among these 6 experiences. And so we're going to look at it, how they work together. So we have talked about Data Factory, data warehouse. So we move straight to data factory. So what is data factory? So it provides the integration transformation layer that works across digital transformation initiative, where you can prepare data, construct your ETL or ELT processes, and orchestrate and monitor pipeline code free. Big data requires a service that orchestrates and operational processes to refine this enormous store of raw data into actionable business insight. So when you want to have an actionable business insight, you need a data factory, ETL, and ELT to orchestrate and monitor these pipelines. So I move straight to data engineering, which enables the user to design, build, and maintain infrastructures and system that enables the organizations to collect, process, and analyze large volume of data. Is also a major component of Microsoft Fabric. We also have data science, which work on same platform as business users and analysts. Data sharing, collaboration becomes so seamless across different roles. As a result, analysts can easily share Power BI reports and data sets with data science practitioner all in one platform. And we have real-time analytics. Before, if you want to operate Azure Synapse or real-time analytics, of course, you go and do that online. But if you work on Power BI Desktop, for instance, and probably you need to, if you have additional information, and so you might need to do some level of refresh. Now, let's say you make a sales from one period to another, maybe from January to June, and you do your visuals, and you make some sales to December, and you want that sales to be part of that, what's it called now? That's former sales you made. Obviously, by the time you do the posting, and if you want it to reflect on your visualization, you need to refresh. But for me, with real-time analytics and what Microsoft Fabric is bringing on board, refresh for me is gone because everything is real time. So what are you refreshing for? So those are major problems that Microsoft Fabric has come to address. And also we have OneLake. OneLake is a single unified logical data lake for the whole organization, just like OneDrive, as I've said earlier. So it's bring data together to all corners of the organization to support a multi-cloud deployment. It's there. It's there. It's also part of um important component, or let me say a storage that is already available in Microsoft Fabric. Now, I believe that a system that is working does not need to be changed. But from the look of things, we are changing this system. And does it really have any benefits? And that's what we're going to see. What is so special about this? What are the benefits? What is so special about this fabric? And so, these are things that I uncover. Number one, Microsoft Power Fabric is user-friendly. For what I've done so far, for experience that I've had, it's very user-friendly. You just continue to move from one experience to another, create your pipeline, check on your data flows on one same platform. In the time past, it wasn't like that. Now, another advantage is that it increases efficiency. And added to that is that you don't need too much, you don't need technical knowledge to use Microsoft Power Fabric. Just play with it, explore it very well, and easy does it for you. Now, another benefit is that it increases efficiency. It enables smaller workflows to complete work that typically requires a larger data team. So what it means is that this will increase efficiency. Take for instance, in the time past, you have a data engineer in an organization, you have somebody who does visual, you have the data scientists. Don't be surprised that we're getting to a level whereby only one person might end up managing the role of data engineering, data analyst, and data scientist. That is increased efficiency. So it's not a question of it was because A has not, do the ETL, which is data engineer, that is delaying my job. So it's not a question of, okay, I, as a data scientist that needs to make progression into the future, I'm still expecting the visuals from a data analyst. So, as a person, an individual can solve this problem, which means there will be what we call increased efficiency. Another benefit is scalability. Scale up or down easily. You know, as budget allows, you scale as because you are in business to make money, not a charitable organization. So I read a report this morning. The way Google is just, they have to start reducing their staff strength, not because they don't like those people, but company needs to. You are there as a business to scale. Likewise, some different organizations too, especially with the realities that we are experiencing in the business world today. And so it's a collaborative environment. You can work seamlessly together from various departments on related projects. Then security. I mentioned something about data activator. It ensures that your data is protected, compliant with relevant regulation, with a robust security and governance framework. So I move to the next slide, which talks about next generation of AI with Copilot. Part of the things that we will be enjoying in Microsoft, just like before, I'm someone that likes to write a lot, and when I want to write, sometimes it takes me 2-3 days to pull my thoughts together. But that is gone. That is gone now. With AI now, I just need to tell the system, just like I had to write a business proposal for investors for a business that I want to float recently. And I just pull the keywords together, throw inside AI, and it gives me a comprehensive summary of if I read it, I do not need to add anything. Likewise, those are the problems that Copilot with AI has come to solve. With Copilot in Power BI now, for people that are MCTs, if you attend our 2 months ago series, one of our leaders, came to talk about Copilot in Power BI, it has come to solve. If you want to work on the area, or maybe what's it called now, DAX, because DAX is like the lifeblood of Power BI. So you don't need to start cramming, cramming to get. Take for instance, you have to find maybe a sales of a village inside a city, in a state, in one country. You can imagine how long that DAX will look. But with Copilot, just tell it what you need to see, and it will just suggest for you. It can even build visuals for you. That is exactly what you can do. So, as a user, you can create and tailor report in seconds, generate and indeed DAX, create narrative summaries, and ask questions about it, all in a conversational language. That is the power of AI. And those are things that we can benefit from this new platform. Now, we move straight to unified data foundation with one lake and direct lake mode. As you all know, that Power BI is standardizing on an open data format by adopting data lake and back to a narrative format. Now, the message we are trying to pass here is that one lake has a special role that it plays. Take for instance, Fabric will reshape how business users consume big data. Like Power BI data set in a direct lake mode, enjoy query performance, but with import mode in real time with direct query. It's not like before that you need to use import mode. It's direct because you are operating real time this time around. So those are and more are what we stand to gain on this platform. And so we move straight. So enterprise grade collaboration with JIT integration for Power BI dataset. Now, just like when this product was first launched, so I was a bit worried. I said, these new products now, how are we going to do it now? All the projects that we've put on the internet, are we going to be moving it, or are we going to create another? That was what bothers me. But I was deceiving myself. When I log on, I saw the project that I've done. As simple as that. It has synced it together. All you need is just to have a what's it called now? Either a developer account or a Power BI Premium. You see everything will sync together. So As a developer, you can use this integration that we are talking about now. You know, you can use Power BI Desktop to auto reports and data semi data files and so on in a very friendly format. So now you can save your Power BI project that we normally say with PBIP to a folder instead of this PIS file. Those are the goodies that we stand to experience. You know, you can enable multiple developer collaboration, self-control integration to track version history, compare different revision differences, and revert to previous versions with ease. And so, in the era of continuous integration and continuous delivery, you know, to enforce quality gates prior to reaching product environment, can enable codes, and on and on. And this will build the integrity of a deployment. Those are part of what we stand to gain. And so, my last slides talk about governance. You know, we all know that building an analytic solution is a very complicated task, can be very challenging. Data team must manage everything from user role to data ingestion, security, compliance, collaboration, workspace, and more. But with Fabric, Power BI, Synapse, and Data Factory, they are already on a unified SSCS platform. What this does is that it allows data teams to collaborate easily in a single workspace on the same copy of data with centralized administration, governance, and compliance too. You know, you'll be looking about, and these capabilities include data knowledge, impact analysis, data protection with sensitivity labels, data endorsement, admin monitoring, and many more. Now, let me say this. Suffice to say that this unified experience will make it easy to jump between tools and collaborate with others on the team. Moreover, with the large amount of data and analytic project being built within an organization, because that for management is the key. On the last line now for you, you know, I like one quote. I was in one training one. Mr. David Brown, the managing partner of the Brown, he said, "It is better you disrupt yourself or you are disrupted," and that's what sticks to my heart. And so I'm putting it to us today, everyone here hearing me, that whether you like it or not, Fabric, although is on a preview mode, but I can tell you, Microsoft had told us their strategic direction. It is either you disrupt yourself or you are disrupted. Thank you so much. And have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Rashid Ogundira. Thank you for that breakdown. Thank you for that wonderful session. We appreciate you. If there are questions, oh, there is one question, just a moment. So there's this question that says, please, sir, what is the future of BI developer with the introduction of these AI tools? Will there be any job for BI developers in the future? You want to answer that first? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. So I've gotten a similar question in some platform that I belong to, but what I just want to tell you is that BI developers' future is very much secured. AI tools, Copilot, and the rest, they cannot work. They cannot work on autopilot. Somebody needs to drive it. You need to tell AI what it needs to do. What is important is it will help you to achieve more. It makes your job simple. You know, I make an analysis at the in the course of my presentation that, you know, when I want to do a write-up about someone, because me, I love to write a lot. You know, sometimes it can take me like 2-3 days to put my thoughts together. You know, you write some things and you know that you look at it, these things I'm putting together doesn't make sense. But now it's a lie in minutes. When we have meetings now, I will just drop it in some AI tools. It will give me a meeting report. As simple as that. I don't need to crack my brain. I don't need to. Likewise, let me tell you something. What is important, what I will advise you is that you need to disrupt yourself. Understand these tools more because you are the driver of this tool. You are the one that is going to drive it. This tool will not work on an autopilot. You need to tell AI what to do. And so if you are competent enough, one thing is for you to have a tool. Another thing is for you to know how to use it. You might have the best tool. Some of us has phone, and the best way we can do is WhatsApp and make a call. But that phone can do a whole lot for us. Likewise, these two that we're talking about. So, Ross, I want you to just relax. Just make sure you learn these two very well because you are the future. You are the one that is going to drive these two. Thank you. I don't know if that
So,
suffices for
Mr.
the.
Chinedu, I hope that your question has been answered. So, Mr. Rashid is trying to say that you are still very relevant. No one is taking your journey away from you. I think that's the summary, right, Mr. Rashid?
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
So,
exactly.
Mr. Chinedu, don't worry. Don't run away. Okay, so another question here for you. Oh, someone just said we are the pilot. I like that. So
Exactly,
Jessica said
exactly. That's
we are the
Clover.
pilot. So Mr. Chinedu,
Yes,
you are one of the pilots. So
yes. So
a pilot cannot leave the plane in the middle of
yeah, it's not possible.
he's already laughing. Oh, Mr. Chinedu, you want to leave the plane in the middle? Don't go and do so that we don't crash. So thank you. It's been a wonderful session. I'm going to bring up the other speaker. So Mr. Chooks. So Mr. Chukote, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
You are full of lies. I can see that. So I've introduced you earlier, but I can still do that again for people that just joined. Mr. Chooks or Mr. Chukwute Mosai is an experienced business intelligence analyst, a Microsoft certified trainer with a demonstrated history of working in information technology and service industry, skilled in teams leadership, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, Office 365, Microsoft 365, and of course a strategic planner, strong research professional with use of SPSS, eView, a skilled programmer, of course, with experience in Python and SQL. So, Mr. Chooks, you have the floor. Are you sharing your screen or you are sharing your slide?
Let me share my screen.
All right,
Okay.
please go ahead.
So I've shared my screen.
Okay. Um, okay, okay, good. Thank you. You have it, please.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Jide, for the introduction. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are connecting from. So I am Chukutem, and you can simply call me Chooks. So today we are looking at uh, 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 this is live. We are here to talk about Microsoft Fabrics, and under Microsoft Fabrics, one of those powerful one of those powerful tool that is within the Fabrics is the Power BI. Power BI is a standalone program of its own that has been in existence, I think, since 2015, and ever since then, it has been a wonderful tool. It has the desktop version, it has a mobile version where you can view reports, and Power BI also have the web service, okay, where you can collaborate with as many people within your organization, either to view your report or to contribute to that report. So that is just an overview of Power BI. But like my colleague said earlier on, while he was the person of Mr. Rashid, while he was giving his while he was giving his speech, he said a lot about Power BI, and even the what do they call it? Even the keynote speaker also said some significant things. All right, that Fabrics is like an hotel that you just need to pack in and then begin to integrate with what is there, because in the hotel room you already have all facilities in place. All you just need to do is to integrate yourself into that particular environment. So the same thing too when it comes to fabrics. So let me open up my screen. Okay, now let me navigate to fabrics. I'll be doing more of the demo than talking. So here we have to navigate to Fabric, you type app.fabric.microsoft. So if you're having your login details, you have to log in with the details. But I am already logged in, so I don't want to take you through that route of logging in and then knowing what to do. And one thing about Power BI it's that you will be able to visualize, because by the time you have built a factory, okay, you build a data warehouse, you build a data factory, and also do some data connections into the warehouse. Now the question is, will you just leave this data line fallow, or you want to make sense out of it? You want to bring out insight out of it. You want the consumer of the data to view your report at a glance and then be able to have a good knowledge of what is happening behind the scene. That is the data that you have brought in. So I have a data that we'll be working with. All right. So I'll just quickly do one or two things. But the first thing I want us to understand is that just the way you use your Power BI desktop, all right, just the way you use your Power BI desktop, after building your report, you publish the data into you publish your report into your web service, and then you begin to collaborate with it. So also here, it is good that by the time you want to start, always start with by the time you want to start, always ensure that you start with that is, you determine the workspace. All right, the workspace, because it is the workspace that will aid collaboration. All right, so if you're able to, if you're not okay, let me go straight to Power BI. Now if I open up Power BI, this is the Power BI web service interface within the fabrics. Now if I come to where I have my workspace, so what this means is that whatever report or whatever thing I'm doing will remain within this my workspace, and you cannot collaborate using my workspace, even with the list, even with the list subscription. You can use my workspace even without the use of any subscription. All right, you can easily use your my workspace. But it is good if you want to collaborate, you go to workspaces. Okay, under workspaces you can create a new workspace. Can you see that? You can create a new workspace. These are other workspaces that are here. So let me create a new workspace, and then I call this workspace demo section. All right, so I want to call this the demo section. Apply. So if I need anybody to be added to this workspace, I can go to advanced and then add more people. All right, to be able to use the workspace. So those people within my organization, I can add them here. Okay, so I can give them permission in order to access this workspace. Now once this workspace is done, I will say apply. Okay, let me try that again. New workspace, demo session. Okay, that is the name of the workspace. Then I click on apply. So once that is applied, so I now have a new workspace. So with this workspace, I can collaborate, I can do anything with it within with my colleagues within the same organization. So I can manage the assets for this. Okay, manage assets here means I can add more people or groups to this workspace, so that whatever thing I do here, I can even assign them the level of permission. Okay, so I can assign them permission as a viewer, permission as a member, permission as a contributor, and as I can also assign them as an admin. Now, one of the danger of assigning someone as an admin to your workspace is that whatever thing you do there, it means that that person can remove you from that workspace. So I rather stay with member, contributor, or what, or viewer. So this is just to bring to your notice that you can bring people into your workspace. But when it comes to my workspace, okay, you cannot bring in anybody. It is just you alone that can have access to that workspace. So for you to bring in people into workspace, you have to create the workspace, give it a name, and then bring it up like this. Now I am within my workspace. Now the question is, what do I want to do in this workspace? The first thing I may want to do here is to create a data warehouse. So how do I create that? I can come here. Every single thing I want to create can be seen here. So the first thing I want to the thing I want to do here is to create a data warehouse. So how do I create that? I will come to this icon beneath here, okay, which is the fabric icon. Click it, and then it will show me every item within the fabric. Okay, so I want to create a data warehouse, and anything I do will remain within that workspace. Okay, so I want to create a new warehouse. I want to call the name of this warehouse demo data warehouse. All right, so all I need to do here is to say create. Now I've created a data warehouse. So it's still loading. Now the beauty of this is wherever your data is, you can bring them here into your warehouse, so that it will be accessible to you when you go back to Power BI in order to visualize whatever data you will be needing. So as you can see now, it's creating the warehouse. So let's give it some seconds while the warehouse is created. Now, when we finish creating the warehouse, the next thing I want to do is to come to Data Factory, and I will want to use the Data Flow Gen 2. All right, so I prefer to use this because that will lead us to just the way we use our Power BI desktop that has the composition of the Power Query. Okay, Data Flow Gen 2 will lead us to that point where we'll be able to perform transformation on our data that we will be bringing in. So let me click on the Data Flow Gen 2. Okay. So it's opening it up for me. Good. So I believe the lovers of Power BI and the conversant users of Power BI, you will see that this is looking exactly like our Power Query in the Power BI desktop. So if you use Power BI desktop very well, this will not be strange to you at all. And that is the beauty of Fabric. Fabric has done this in a way that it brings everything you need into one platform. So you don't need to go here and there in order to ensure that you bring in your data, and at the end of the day you will not be able to if there is failure in connection, you will not be able to access your data that you have stored somewhere else. Now look at this. It's looking exactly like what? Like Power Query. Now I want to import a data from a flat file, which is an Excel file. So I will click on import this. So it's asking me for the connection. Okay, so I want to upload a file. So let me see if I have the file here on my desktop. Let me see. Okay, good. I have a sample safety data. So I just need to drag this and drop this here. It's just drag and drop. It is as easy as that. You don't need to struggle when you use Fabric, because some of these things will look like as if you are playing. Just like someone asked a question, that doesn't mean that AI is coming to take your job. No. Just like I love the name that I love the name that Microsoft gave to that AI. He called it Copilot. Copilot in the sense that it means that you that is using the tool, you are the pilot. So he is there to assist you to do more. That's all. So, and if you look at the function of a co-pilot in an aeroplane, it is just the same thing that the co-pilot is doing here on your Power BI or on your Fabric. So now look at it. We have drag and drop this data just to connect to it. And then the next thing I want to do is to click on Next. And after clicking on Next, it will, whatever table that is within that data set, that is within that file, is going to pull it up for me. All right, so I want to select this table. So to show me a preview of this table that is within this data set, that is within the file that I have selected. Okay, now look at it. It has already done the schema for me already. Here we have date, so it's seen it has already configured this as date. Here we have the injury location, gender, age group, incident type, days lost, plant, report type, shift, department, incident cost, weekday, month, and year. So you see that this has already given us make life so easy and simple for us. So you may do maybe little or less cleaning because of the machine learning algorithm that it has used to read our data set and then see the best schema for each of these columns. So once I'm done, I will click on create. Okay, so if I click on create, it will bring up the data for me. Now look at this. It has given us a flow of how we have gone so far. First, we connected to our data source. The next thing we are it gave us the navigation. The navigation, if you click on it, it will show you what it has navigated to. Now, if you look at the navigation, you discover that at the top of it, you see that it's not giving us it's not promoting the header because that is the navigation. Now, automatically, it does the promoting of the header for us. Can you see that? So these are the steps. This also applies to the applied step, okay, that we have in a Power BI desktop. So if I want to add another step, I can add another step within, okay? I can add a step within a step. So each of these is a step that has been done. All right. So this is the column type that has been affected, that has been changed already. This is date. This is all these that are here. They are all alphabet. Why this is a decimal number and so on. Okay. So all these are the, so we can now begin to do transformation if we want. Now coming to this place here, I want to change this to test. So all I just need to do is to right click on this and say I want to transform this to what? To tests. All right. So I will say replace current. So once I do replace current, it will convert that to test for me. So that is another, that is, you can perform as many as possible. You can add new column. You can do a lot of transformation, do transpose, do group by. If I click on this button here, the plus button, it will show me a lot of transformation that I can carry out within a particular column or within this data set. So this is basically Power Query for you. And I want to change this data flow name. Okay. I want to change it to demo HR demo safety data. Okay. And then I also want to change the name of this table. I want to rename the name of this table to health safety table. Health safety table. So we have that. Good. So once that is done, the next thing that will come to your mind is, we have created a data warehouse, and now we are building the factory, which of which we have already we have brought in the data into the factory. Now, not just bringing it into the factory, we want to redirect this data to the warehouse. And how can this be done? On our home table, on our home tab, I will come to add, under the query, I will say add data destination. That is, where is the final destination of this my data set? Okay. So all I need to do is to open up this and then say, I want this data to go to the warehouse. Once I click on the warehouse, I will click on next. And when I click on next, it will ask me for the name of the table. All right. Look at the demo section, work group that I have created. Look at the demo data warehouse that I have created. And then I want this health safety table to stay in the demo data warehouse as my destination. Okay. So once that is done, I will click on next. Then it will tell me to look at the schema again. Okay. So from here, I can also change the schema, but I want to leave it exactly the way it was. So once I'm okay with the schema, then I will say save. So what it means is that I can decide to remove any of these. Okay. I can decide not to send any of these to the destination, but I still want every of them to go to that destination, which is the data warehouse that I have created. So once that is done, I will click on Save Settings. And once I click on Save Settings, that is done. So I can now publish this data if I am done with whatever transformation that I needed to do here. So I believe my this data that I'm having here is clean. So I may not need to do any further transformation on this, except maybe I will come to, okay, let me see if I can do any transformation. Okay, so I have injury location. I want to change this not available here to others. So how will I do that? I will right click on this column and say replace values. Okay, or I select this particular item, right click on it, and then say replace values. So once I need to replace, what do I want to replace that value with? I want to replace it with orders. Okay, I want to replace it with orders. So once I'm done, I will say okay. So automatically I performed another transformation. Can you see that? So all those places that I have not available, I have replaced it with what? With orders. That is a transformation. I can decide to do a split. I can decide to change whatever thing I want. So let's say, for example, I want to know the age of this table. I can as well do that. So the age of this date, I can as well do that. So it depends on what you tend to achieve within your data. All right, that is the Power Query. And the Power Query, we can also liken it, or we can say it is the kitchen. Okay, it is the kitchen of Power BI. All right, where data is being prepared for consumption. Okay, so before you consume your data, before you begin to build visuals, there is need for you to build your for you to perform some transformation on this data set. And you can also call this, okay, whatever thing you do here, you can also call it data wrangling. Okay, wrangling of data, that is trying to bring your data to submission. Bringing your data to submission, meaning that you want it to behave exactly, you want it to give you the result exactly the way you want it. Okay, and that is why in Power BI, it is good you have the end. It is good you have an idea of the end from the beginning. Okay, you don't just jump into a data set and then you begin to consume it. No, know what you want to achieve. Know the kind of report you want to build. Know the kind of visual you tend to present. Know the kind of audience you are presenting your reports to. All this will give you an idea. That is why I say you have to know the end from the beginning, because it will give you an upper edge of what you are going to achieve, or the kind of report you tend to build at the end of your at the end of your report, at the end of your data wrangling. Okay, so you wrangle this data and bring it to what? Bring it to submission. So to me, this data set you are seeing right now, I have wrangled it to my submission. Okay, so let me quickly do another transformation. Here I have the weekday. I can decide to rename. Okay, I can decide to rename this weekday. Can you see that? So that is another transformation that I have carried out. So every step you do, you see the applied step right here. So here is showing us the location, okay, where the data has been, the data factory, or the data warehouse where it has been stored. And here we have each of these steps that is applied. You can decide to change the view if you want. Okay, you can decide to change the view if you want from each of these. Can you see that? So this is looking like what we have in our Power Query editor in the Power BI desktop. Can you see that? So it depends on what you tend to achieve. So once this is done, I can now publish this data. Look at it here. Beneath here we have publish. You can drop it down and say publish later. But I want to publish this report. I want to publish this data set now, so that we'll be able to build reports and make sense out of this data set that we have on the screen. So let me publish this data set now. So I've clicked on publish data set now. So the data set has been published. Now look at it below. You see that it is rolling beneath. Okay, showing you that this showing you the publishing process. So let's give it some seconds for the publishing to be completed. Okay, so don't hesitate to drop your questions, and so that we can be trashing them as we go forward. So, and the beauty of this is that it could have bring up your your data set into that warehouse. Okay, it has moved that data set from where I copied it from. It has moved it to the warehouse, so it is accessible to anybody that is within this workspace. Okay, it is accessible to anybody within this workspace. So what it means is that if you are not within this demo section workspace, you cannot access that data set that I have just brought in into that warehouse. Now let me now go back to the warehouse. So it's loading the warehouse for me. So in the warehouse, good. So now that the data set has been published, let us now go to Power BI so that we can connect to that data set in that data set in that factory in that warehouse, and then begin to build our reports just exactly the way you build using the Power BI desktop. So let's go there, come to the fabric icon, and then click on Power BI. Now I am within my Power BI, still on that workspace. Okay, so while I am here on the workspace, what do I want to do? This is that data that I've just brought in, and this is the warehouse. So I will come here and say I want to build a report. Okay, I want to build a report, or I can open that data warehouse. Okay, this is the data warehouse data set. Can you see it? So here we have the data set. Now I can click here and then say I want to create a report. Okay, I want to create a report. I can also do an auto create report. Okay, whereby I don't need to do anything. It will just create a template report for me. Now let's click that and see the kind of report Power BI is going to spool up for us automatically. So I've clicked on auto report. Wow, it's spooling up an error for us. So let's go back. Okay. So let's create a new report. Now, under this new report, I want to pick a published data set. Okay. Let me select the published data set. Now, these are the data sets that are within this workspace. Okay. So I want to, let me see my data, demo data warehouse. Let me open this up and say auto create reports. Wow, it's couldn't load the model schema. Okay, let's see why it's throwing up this error. Let's see why it's throwing up this error. New reports, publish data sets. Okay. Don't know why it's giving me that error. Okay. So let's go back to the factory. Okay, this is on my workspace. Let me change the workspaces to demo section. Okay, under the demo section, let's go back to edit. All right. Okay, add safety table. Let's see the destination. Good. Let's see the destination. Edit. Next. Okay. So we have the demo data here. Existing table. Okay, we don't have any existing table. Let's put it as a new one. Okay. Replace. And then save settings. All right. So we have it
Maybe
here.
you can. Okay, have you seen it?
Yes.
Mr. Chit, maybe you want to use some of the tabs at the top that says visualize using, yes. You want to click on one of that so that you can be able to do that. You can actually do it directly also from any of this. Or I guess maybe that's one of the things you are looking for.
Of course. Okay, so once that is done, let me publish. Let me publish this, and then so let's wait while it updates. Okay, it's updating right now. So let's wait for it to refresh completely. Okay, still refreshing. So as soon as it completely refreshing, we'll now go back to Power BI to visualize. Okay, still refreshing. Once the refresh is complete, you shouldn't throw up that error again. It shouldn't throw up that error again. Still refreshing that data, refresh in progress. So let's give it some seconds for the refresh to be completed. Okay, now that the refresh is complete, so let's go back to Power BI. Let's refresh the Power BI tab. And we want to create a new report. Pick a published data and demo data. So it's generating the report for me because I said it should do an automatic all data within that you create a report. Now look at here. It's telling me that the report is ready. Can you see this? So it has created a report for me automatically using my what? Using my data set. All right. So the report has been created. But I will want to create this report all by myself. I don't want a lazy man job. Okay? I don't want a lazy man job. I want to tackle this report head on so that we'll be able to build different visuals of our own of our own choice. What if you have been asked a question that is not on any of your data set? How will you be able to what? How will you be able to build it? So I will go back. I don't want to save this. So the same way, back here, and then I will select the demo data. I will come beneath here and then say create a blank report. All right. So once I say create a blank report, it will show me my canvas where I want to begin to build my report. All right. Look at my table under my data here, which we build in the data factory, and then we move from the data factory, we move it in the data factory, we build it using data flow gen 2, and then we move it straight to the data warehouse. And under the data flow gen 2, that is where we perform the that's where we perform the transformation. That is where we wrangle the data, and then we're able to push it straight to the data warehouse. Can you see that all this is done just within Fabric? And then after that, we are able to connect to that data, which is in that destination, in that warehouse, through what? Through Power BI. And that is where we are now. Then we can now begin to build visuals. Now, if I double click, it's supposed to be able to tell me that I should be able to use my question and answer, but it's telling me that it is not enabled. So I can come back to here under the demo section, in the data factory, that is the demo section and work group. I will come to this demo data warehouse. I will open it up and then go to the settings. Now, under the settings, oh, sorry, that's not it. I want to, okay, demo data warehouse. Let me open it up. Now, when I open it up, come to settings. Under settings, I will come to Power BI settings. Okay. Under the Power BI settings, I want to see my data set, demo warehouse. That is what I want to work on. I will come to the question and answer. I will enable it. Okay. So once that is done, I will apply. Once this is applied, I can now go back, and you see that it's not it's still not bringing it up. All I need to do here, so once this is done, all I need to do here is to what? Is to come back to Power BI and then refresh, reload. So once I refresh, I will be able to double click and then use my question and answer. So for the benefit of those that don't know how to bring up the question and answer in Power BI in Data Factory, that is how you Power BI in Fabrics, that is how you bring it up. So once you double click, you'll be able to bring up your question and answer. So what is the work of the question and answer? I can ask a question, and then an answer will be given to me based on my data. I can ask here, what I can say total mail. I want to see the total mail. And that is it, 450. So I have 458 mail within this my data set, because there is a column in my, there's a column under my table that says gender. Can you see that? So here is it has given me total mail. But I wouldn't want to also do a lazy man job by I wouldn't want to be lazy. It is not a lazy man job, because actually that is what I tend to that is what the tool provides for me to use. But if I want to do this manually, all I need to do is to select the visual I want to use, which is a card visual. Where are you? Good. But I want to use the multi-row card. Okay, so this multi-row card here can give me, if I come here and say gender, okay, so it will give me male and female. I can now pick up gender again and bring it under. This gender I bring under, I will come here and then say I want this to count. Can you see that? So it is giving me the total male as 58 and total female as what? As 458 and 56. This is a report. If I want to see the total number of all entries here, okay, if I want to see the total number of all entries here, I can also pick the card visual and then select the gender. Once okay, yes, I can use the gender, drop it down and say I want you to what? To count. So I have a total of 554. I've started building my visuals. That is Power BI for you. Visuals that start flying in. We have now begun to make sense with our data set. Okay, I want to also I want to see by department. By department, I want to see the distribution of male and female. Okay, or I want to see, okay, by department, what is the cost? What is the cost that has been incurred so far? Where is my costs? Injury cost. Yes, I want to see the cost of each injury, or the cost of injury by department. I can decide to use a bar for this. Can you see that? I can decide to format this to say I want to format this by seeing I want to bring up the data label. Let me see how many how much it costs. Okay, so that's it. This is making, we are now making sense out of our data. All right, so let me also pull out another report. I want to see by gender, what is the cost of, what is the injury cost by gender? Injury costs by gender. Incident cost by gender. Can you see that? So let me use okay, so male, of course it will be male because we have more male than female within our data set. We can decide to say, okay, this, instead of using the sum, let us see the average. On the average, you now see that on the average we have 1.41 thousand as against 1.28 thousand when it comes to the average. So that is why at times the sum may not really matter. The average also really matter for you to be able to get a deeper insight into what you need to report. Okay, let's also create another report here. By plant, let us see the injury costs by plant, or sorry, the incident cost by plant. Okay, so let's use the bar chart for this. Beautiful. So we have now begun to create our report. So with this you can say yes, the plant in Florida, we have incurred more cost in the plant in Florida as against the plant that is in California. So let's come back here and say, let's format this visual, add data label to this. I want to change the column color, show all. Because Florida is the highest, I want to use red because it is a red flag for me. And for California, which is the least, I want to use the green color. Okay, that's to show that we have lesser what we have spent lesser in those states. But if we truly want to see, if we look at if we go back and then look at the average of this can give you, can you see that it is still Florida, even on when it comes to the average. So it's better we go back using the cost itself, because you might be wondering what is actually making the people in Florida to go, the plant in Florida to be incurring more injury than every other plant. So this is another way of you to get an insight into this. So let's use the sum. So we have 103 as the highest, while we have 64K as the lowest. Let us also build two more reports. Let's see by age group. What is the incident cost by age group? Does it mean it is this injury cost has to do with age? If it has to do with age, so it means that we need to find a solution, maybe to begin to send those people home, so that they will maybe we'll bring in younger blood. But let us see this in a visual so that we'll be able to see clearly what is going on. Wow. From here, you see that those people between the age of 25 to 34 years, we incur more costs on them than every other. Even the people within the age within the youngest age bracket are having lesser amount. Can you see that? So this is making sense. We have now begun to build visual and to make sense out of the data that we have brought in. That is the beauty of Power BI. You can build your report on the fly. You can build the report to whatever way that you whatever means that you may need. Okay, let us add slicer to this. I think that will make sense if we will add slicer to this. So let's bring in a slicer. Sorry about that. Let's click here and then bring in a slicer. Okay, so for this slicer, I want to say, let me bring the injury location. Can you see that? So we have different injury locations. Okay, we have the abdomen, we have the arms, back, all that. Okay, but instead of using the slicer for this, instead of using this for the slicer, let me pick a visual. Let me use the tree map and then say, okay, this injury by location, which location of the body that we are incurring more incident cost on. Okay, let's see. Wow, it means that they have more back pain in this place than neck pain. Okay, I think neck pain is the lowest compared to back pain, which is 820,000. So let's format this and add the data label so that we'll be able to see this at a glance. So this is the highest, while this is the lowest. Can you see that? That is so now you now begin to ask, what is it? What kind of why is it that they are having more back pain than every other part of the body? Okay, so let's see what we can slice this our data with, our report. Let's see what we can slice it with. Bring in the slicer. Okay, let us slice it with the shift. Let's slice it with the shift. Good. Now, in the afternoon, let us see what is happening across board. This is what is happening across board. In the afternoon, we have incurred, on the average, we incurred more cost on the female, okay, in the afternoon than the male, okay, and Florida still remain the highest, but can you see that California has come in, okay, while Illinois is having lesser in the afternoon, okay, and Florida still remain the highest when it comes to the afternoon shift. Let us see the day shift and see what is happening. Florida still remains the same. Why Ohio in the day we have lesser what? We have lesser incident cost. In the night, let us see. Wow, Florida come to the last. So what it means is that in the Florida plant, we incur lesser costs in the night than in the day. Why California, there is more incident cost in the day. Can you see that? So this is giving us insight upon insight of this our data that we are working in. Okay, let me just quickly do some beautification on this report. So let me click on this, and I want to come here, call out. Okay, let's go to general, the title. Okay, I want to bring up the title. Yeah, I want to say report. This is a total incident. Can you see that? So let me format the heading with blue color. No, I don't want that. Let me change the text color to white and then the background color to be blue. Beautiful. Okay, so what again? Let's see the effect. Color effect. Let's give it black. No, I don't want that. Let's see the visual border. Okay, let me on the visual border, and I want it to be blue. Beautiful. Okay, I want that heading to come to the center. You can customize any way you want. Okay, I want the title to be at the center align. Beautiful. So the same, this I don't need to bother myself about this. Okay, so let's format this. Good. Format. I want to open up the bars. In no time now we will be done. Grid lines. No, I don't want any grid line. Yeah. Okay, I've worked on the bars already. Let's go to general. Let's go to effect. I want to give it shadow. Okay, I want to on the shadow. Beautiful. Okay, what else do I want to do here? The visual border. Let me on the visual border and give it blue. Okay, let me add the title. The title, incident caused by department. I want to place it at the center and give the background, the text color to be white, and then the background to be blue. So ensure that whatever thing you are doing should be homogeneous, okay? So that it will not, you will not be having color riots. And also when you are building report, ensure you have the organization in mind, okay? Don't go and use an organization that has their color to be green, and then you are now using red for them. So at first they may not even want to look at the report. What may first of all captivate their mind is the color that you have used. So ensure that the colors you are using are in line with the organizational policy. I think that will help you a lot in order to build reports that people will love. Let me tell you one thing. You might build a report and you have built the report you have created exactly what the organization wants. But just because of the color, that report can be rejected. So ensure you observe, you take that into consideration. So let's add an effect to here. Shadow, border, and let me add the border color to be blue. And again, let's put the title as average of incident cause. Okay, let's put the text color as white and the background as blue, and let it be center aligned. That's it. So you can build your report like this and you are good to go. You can as well, let me just do this quickly. Columns, no, I don't need columns. General, let's add the title incident caused by this, blue, center align, and okay, let's put this at blue and this at white. Good. Let's do that for this. So make sure your reports are aligned, your general. We want to do the effect, border color, make it to be blue. We can as well make the border color to be no background, the border to be okay. Let's add shadow. Okay, time is not on our side, so now we now have these our reports ready to fly. So whosoever that is within the organization can begin to consume, that is within your workspace. Don't forget, whosoever that is within the workspace can begin to consume these reports. So let me bring this down. It shifts. Good. So let's build, let's add an header. Let's add an header. This is health safety performance dashboard. Okay, I can format this any way I want. Let's move it up. Let's increase the size. 24. Stretch this out. I want you to stay at the center. Good. Make it bold. Beautiful. Wow. So we are set. So now this is our earth safety performance dashboard that we have created. So you can, there are lots of insights that you can bring out from this report. There are a lot because time is not on our side. We can add more pages, okay, build a report here, add another page, build another report, and then add navigation to it, okay. You can add navigations to it. Can you see that? You can add navigator whereby you can navigate from one page to another. It will look as if it is just a single page that you are working on. That is the beauty of using Power BI when it comes to Fabric. So once this is done, you can now save your report. Save. I want to save it as health, safety, performance, dashboard. Once this is done, I can now select the workspace where I want to save it and then click on save. And then my report is ready to be consumed. Can you see that? That the pages are here already. Because there is nothing on these pages, I can as well delete them. How do I delete it? I will go back to edit. Under edit, delete this page for me, delete this page for me, delete this page for me, delete. So once I'm done, I will save it again. And once that is done, my report is ready. My report is ready to fly. I can now begin to share and collaborate with people within my workspace. Thank you very much for taking your time out to listen to Ross this afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Chikutim Osai, thank you for a detailed session. I believe that, sorry, if your hearing sound is because there is an heavy downfall around me. So sorry about that.
We
Now, thank you
understand,
so
sir.
much for this detailed session. We are waiting for questions in case our participants have questions. So, but of course, we would appreciate your feedback. We have dropped feedback. Oh, Yemisi said, thank you so much, Yemisi, for joining. And I'm sure that we have benefited a lot. Um, so if there are questions, we can drop it. We have few minutes to do that. We have also dropped feedback from in the link. Mr. Chooks, you can minimize your
Okay.
screen. We have also dropped feedback in the link. Please kindly help us click on the link so that we can have your feedback. So I believe that since the week one that we have started till today, we have benefited a lot. So, of course, you can include some of the things you want us to do better in the feedback form so that the next program we are planning, after we are done with fabrics, we can, of course, include that. I mean, take learnings from that and see how we can do better. Um, this is just to let you see that next Saturday is another time that we will be looking at data governance, where we have some of our powerful people around governance and what we need to do. In case you have been looking at everything we have been doing and security is your concern and all of that, be rest assured that Microsoft has factored that into Fabric's environment. Of course, in all of the products, governance, Microsoft don't joke with that data privacy. And of course, next weekend, I mean Saturday 29th, we will be looking at that. Oh, thank you so much. There's another thank you message from Cheska. She's saying, thank you, Rashid. Thank you, Chooks. So I believe we have filled our forms. Please do not forget to fill those forms. So once again, from the keynote speaker to the last speaker, we say thank you for making yourself available for the community engagement. We look forward to seeing you some other time. So everyone, I want to say thank you for joining. See you next week. Bye for now. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.